This year was a journey for me, a journey to self-acceptance, self-care, self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-love, a journey of growth. I've never had so much happen in just 1 year, and after battling anorexia, I thought that'd be my hardest battle. This year brought a lot of good and a lot of bad. However, given the option to go back in time and change things, I wouldn't. It made me who I am. This story is a part of me, and it is me. At the beginning of 2019, I started traveling down the wrong path. I met this girl, Kate. She knew how to have fun, and we became inseparable. She showed me what it was like to let loose and live in the moment, but those moments were intoxicating, and I craved them constantly. I had lost sight of what I wanted and was partying constantly. Eventually, she encouraged me to clear my plate so I could live in the moment with her, and I listened. I quit my full-time job, shut down 2 businesses, and enrolled in public school again, giving up my dream of graduating early and moving to the city. My mom watched me change into someone she had never known. She lost trust in me and was thoroughly disappointed, which I don't blame her for. I was not the same. I had started sneaking out and coming home blacked out. It caused a lot of problems for mine and her relationship. I couldn't realize I was hurting myself and everyone around me, and I refused to let her confront me about it. During this time, I had also reconnected with a guy from my past, Rick. For some reason, I thought that there could be something between us. However, to be open out and yourself in this town, you need to know your worth, have trust in yourself, and love yourself fully. This town is toxic in that way. It's so small that people don't feel comfortable accepting everyone as they are. Anyways, I changed everything about myself for Rick. I changed my hobbies, my wardrobe, and hung out with people that I knew would attract us. I wasn't myself. A couple weeks after we had reconnected, we were partying one night and Rick snapped. He beat me up. I didn't hold him accountable, however. I blamed it on the alcohol and texted him the next day in an attempt to resolve things, which we did. I never got an apology, and during the time, I was okay with that. My mom was horrified when she saw me the next day, but I was convinced that this guy was the one and he was real and nice. I was convinced he was right for me. So I protected him at all costs and told my family I had tried to break up a fight at a party and endured some of the punches. No one believed me, and they had every right to. When my mom found out what actually happened to me, she confronted Rick. I was still on his side, however, so I was furious with my mom. I moved out of her house and into my father's in retaliation, and eventually I realized that I should have never been beaten up. There was no justification for it, so I cut Rick off. And as soon as I did, I was able to form healthy and platonic relationships. One in particular with a really cool guy, James. We became best friends very quickly. He was someone I was able to tell anything and everything to. It felt warm, comforting, and right. In March, I stayed at my friend May's house for about 3 weeks. We threw parties on school nights, skipped school a lot, and Kate convinced me to do LSD with her for the first time at May's. It scared me. The first time I noticed I had gone down the wrong path and was throwing my life away was during my acid trip. The realization didn't change anything, however. I continued to make unhealthy decisions. On 4/20, I made an edible cake with a group of friends, and I don't remember the next 2 days after that. I was completely blacked out. About a week after that, I got alcohol poisoning after Kate dared me to chug half a bottle of Monarch vodka, even though I was already drunk. My friends saw me in a state that day that I wish no one ever see anyone. I was seizing, uncontrollable, could not form sentences, and was in and out of consciousness. When my dad called the ambulance, I was so out of it that I began to punch and kick the cops that came to help me get to the hospital. At the hospital, I was pumped with antipsychotic drugs because no one knew exactly what was happening to me. I don't remember the hospital visit, getting discharged, or the following couple of days after being released. I almost died. I was so close. But still, I didn't fully process the severity of the situation. I started work again, which gave me some structure to my life. It motivated me to start working on myself, to form better habits, and become the healthy individual I had always been and knew I could be. One day, my cousin and I had plans to go for an evening yak after I got off work. In the attempt to take the kayak out, we decided to fly over to Juneau instead. When I was in Juneau, I tripped on shrooms for the first time. Instead of having a trip and seeing things, it made me very emotional and vulnerable. I began to think about where I had gone wrong. I retraced every bad thing that happened to me back to its source. Somehow, it all led back to Kate. I knew it was time to get my life together. I had my fun, and it wasn't worth giving up everything for. The fun was temporary, the happiness it gave me was temporary, and I needed permanent. I texted Kate that same night with an explanation as to why when I come home, I'd be doing my own thing. She was furious. She went off on me and even targeted me for being homosexual. I stuck to it, though. I cut everyone negative off. I needed positive people around me in this time of regrowth. No matter my efforts, my dad couldn't see the progress I was making to become a better me. He was blinded by his witch of a wife. We got into a physical altercation one night, which led to me moving out and cutting him off. In July, I fell in love with my best friend, James. It happened very slowly throughout our friendship, and then all at once as we sat on the rocks and watched the ocean together at Whale Park. Life was overwhelming. I was finding myself again, my happiness, my hobbies, and my people. I had to get out of town for a couple of days to cool off and reward myself for the progress I had made. It's easy to get caught up in this town. I flew to Austin, Texas with my lifelong friend Nicole. Nicole and I had a great bonding experience on the trip, and we were able to get our minds off things back home. It was nice, like a rebirth. I left town as a damaged teen trying to find himself and came back with my sights set. I had a vision of what I wanted out of life and knew what steps I needed to take to get there. One of these steps was cutting people off that won't help me grow or don't have the same moral mindset as I. Another one of my lifelong friends, Claire, and I ended our friendship because of this. I'm a strong believer that if one thing doesn't work out, it's okay because something much better is coming. It was proven true in this situation. After closing mine and Claire's door, a bigger and better door was opened. I met the Alana to my Abby. I've never had someone care about me just as much as I do about them, but Alana goes out of her way to reciprocate my actions and feelings. It's the healthiest friendship I've ever had. We are honest, upfront, and love each other. Alana was very powerful in my recovery and finding myself again. She constantly showed me how far I'd come and praised me for that. Due to my progress, I wanted to treat myself to something I had always wanted but never gotten: lip injections. When I got home from my trip to get lip injections, I had my heart broken into a million pieces and even lost my best friend, James. We both needed time and space to heal. During the time I needed to heal from this heartbreak, the world attracted me to a group of people that had all been fighting their own battle. We hung out every day and were there for each other and helped each other in our own healing process, and it was very successful. They helped me, they guided me, and they found me. Ilana introduced me to her friends, and they all accepted me, welcomed me, and grew with me. They encouraged me and still encourage me to do good and be my best self. They don't let me forget my worth. They are real and true. And for each of them, I am forever grateful. Last month was a terrifying month. Claire and I got into an altercation at a party, which I never imagined happening. We are both guilty for the interaction, and I would just like you to know, Claire, I am sorry it ever came to that. The weekend after Claire and I's fight, I was faced with homophobia for the first time in my life. It was horrifying. I shut down for days. I didn't want to do anything or go anywhere. I wanted to hide. But that's not who I am. I stand up for myself. I don't allow people to oppress me because they are insecure of themselves. It took a toll on my mental health for days, but I came out stronger and know that I will take part in making this world a better place and making sure homophobia goes to the grave. So that's my year in review. 2019 was a lot, but here's 19 things I learned from this year. 1. Honesty is not just about telling the truth. It's about being real with yourself and others around you about who you are, what you want, and what you need to live your most authentic life. 2. Hold yourself accountable. Accountability keeps you striving towards your goals and reaching for your dreams. 3. Not everyone has the same opinion as you, and that's okay. 4. Time heals all wounds. The time it takes to recover can never be determined. Don't rush things that shouldn't be rushed. 5. Your feelings are always valid. Allow yourself to feel them and do whatever you need to heal from them. 6. You are your own person. This is your life. Don't let anyone else write your story. 7. What you give power to has power over you. 8. The most beautiful things in life are moments and the feelings felt within a moment. 9. What you see in others who are close to you is a reflection of yourself or who you want to be. 10. Don't wait to tell someone you love them. When the time comes, it could be too late. 11. Some things can never go back to how they used to be, and that's okay. Accept it. 12. Talk to yourself the same way you would talk to your best friend. 13. You can't find happiness in other people. Happiness lies within ourselves. 14. Figure out exactly what you want and do not stop until you get it. 15. It's important to know your limit. Say no if you are uncomfortable. 16. Give time to self-reflect. Self-reflection builds emotional awareness. By asking yourself the important questions, you gain a better understanding of your emotions, strengths, skills, and driving factors. 17. Stick up for what's right. Make your voice heard. 18. Timing has an impact on everything. Don't give up. Right now might not be the right time, but it will come and you will know when it does. 19. Do what you love unapologetically. Be who you are unapologetically. I mean it when I say I wouldn't change a thing. I'm proud of who I am and what I had to go through to get here. And now that I know how much I am worth, my capability, and how to treat others, I can conquer anything. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself. Thank you. Tyla, Aaron, Ari, Song, Rihanna, Ryan, Makai, Kaya, Maddie, Tasia, Caitlin, Devin, Alyssa, Kendall, Kendra, Emily, Mallory, Gracelyn, Hannah, Jalen, Ellie, Eman, Garrett, Kayleen, Sam, Louise, Retha, Gus, Jaya, Bino, Chloe, Mia, Haley, Abby, Kessie, Connor, Jules, and Kat. You were all a part of my year and helped me become who I am today. Even if we are not friends or not on the best of terms anymore, I hope you guys are happy, healthy, and get everything you want out of life. Here's to 2020.